Are we ready to begin?
We're ready.
Each candidate will have 5 minutes to give an opening statement. After the opening statement, candidates will be asked 3 questions and will have 2 minutes to respond to each question. After all 3 questions have been answered, each candidate will have 3 minutes to give a closing statement. The timekeeper will alert each candidate when their time is up. We'll start with the Lanier County Board of Education candidates for District 2. For this office, we have Tommie Ruth White, the incumbent, and Russell Zirkle, the challenger. Mr. Zirkle, you have 5 minutes for your opening statement.
Yes, sir. If you don't mind, I'd like to stand. And I'd like to ask all of you, I'm going to take about 10 or 15 of my seconds to please stand a moment of silence for the victims of the Colorado shooting. If you would. Take your seats. My name is Russell Zirkle. I moved here, I was product of an Air Force family. I moved here in 1979. After having lived here previously, I was born at Moody Air Force Base in '68. I'm the product of a high school that had a principal who was an Air Force veteran as well. I'm a product of Lanier County. Graduated in 1987 as salutatorian, most likely to succeed, outstanding senior male, UGA Certificate of Merit, Presbyterian Junior Fellow Award, president of a couple clubs, and a few other things. I was a governor's honors attendee from Lanier County High School as well, 1986, one of the top 400 high school students in the state. So I owe a lot to Lanier County. Those sound like achievements, but in truth, I owe a debt to Lanier County. I owe a debt to the grace of God, first of all, from my upbringing, to a good education from a small southern town, to good parents who kept me in line, gave me a good start, gave me a good push, to caring educators, very caring and professional educators. Ms. Pope, Ms. Berryhill, Earl Ridley, whose name is still one of the hints to one of my passwords on some military account I have. Many more. I owe a lot to Lanier County. I went on, I left Lanier County to work with the Georgia Department of Corrections, as well as finish my bachelor's degree in public management with a concentration in criminal justice administration. My bachelor's degree was from Austin Peay State University in Clarksville, Tennessee, because I didn't finish till some years later while I was mobilized with the Army in Fort Campbell, Kentucky. Spent 6 of the last 10 years mobilized in the War on Terror. All of those years here in the continental United States, you might say I was blessed, but everybody had a part to do. I did what I could. I'm back here in Lanier County. I returned from Fort Bragg last November. The All-American City, if any of you have ever been to Fayetteville. They call it the All-American City. It's a city of diversity. It's a city of prosperity. It's a city of high standards. And it's a city of sacrifice. Bottom line is this. And I want to put what I've seen around this country in various assignments and with my education with the Department of Corrections. I went to work, I moved across the state to go to work for the Department of Corrections in 1992. Had about 3 years of college and I was kind of burned out. Went to Hays State Prison, didn't know anybody, didn't have any hookups, didn't ask for any hookups. Went to work at Hays State Prison, worked my way up through the ranks. In 2002, some 10 years later, I was promoted to Assistant Superintendent of Robert L. Patton Probation Detention Center. That's after serving on the state's tactical team, participating in the Eric Robert Rudolph manhunt, security for Freaknik in downtown Atlanta, if any of you are unfortunate enough to know what that is. But I've done a few things. Now I want to come back here to my hometown. We've got a beautiful town here. We've got beautiful people here. We've got a good school system. But I personally feel that good is the enemy of great. We need to take it to the next level. The way we take it to the next level is we change a few things. Now I'm not going to sit here and say that this county or anybody in this county is doing anything illegal. You have to prove stuff like that to make an accusation. But we're doing some things to impede growth. Is that 1 minute left? And the things we're doing to impede growth, nepotism, it impedes growth. It closes us off from great resources that I'll expound on later. And high taxes. High taxes. It impedes growth. It slows us down. I'll tell you more about myself as the forum goes on, but listen, I'm here to serve. I won't accept pay for what I do. I'll ask other board members to consider doing the same. I feel that burden, I feel that conviction, I sincerely feel that conviction. We have some great public servants in this town. Sometimes they get a little aggressive, sometimes things come out maybe a little crossways. But we got some great public servants, but we need to step it up. And I want to be the one to show the way. Thank you.
Here's White. You have 5 minutes for your opening statement.
May I stand as well? I'm a classroom teacher, so I'm used to standing all day. I'm Tommie Ruth White, and I was not born and raised here in Lanier County, but I pretty much have been. I married to John White. He was born and raised right here in Lakeland, Georgia. I married him in 1983. In November, we'll be married 29 years. So when I married him in 1983, I came to Lakeland, Georgia, so you might as well say I was born and raised here in Lanier County. Lakeland is part of my life. We've raised 3 children. The oldest one, he's 25. He's a flight instructor in Fort Lauderdale, Florida. He's a graduate, an honor graduate from here at Lanier County High School. Ryan has just recently graduated from college with an accounting degree. He was also salutatorian and here at Lanier County High School. So, and then we waited a long time and had our little Matthew, and he's going into the 8th grade. So, with John coaching and teaching as well, we've just been raised around the school system, both of us. We got married so young, we was raised around the school system. So, John started out as a criminal justice major and received that degree, and then he wanted to coach ball, and so he decided to go back and teach and coach ball. So that's where we all here. As a little girl, I went to teach school, and I got out of high school at Burley and went to work at the middle school as a secretary, and did that through my junior and senior year, getting out half a day. But to say all that, I always wanted to teach school, and I start my 20th year this year, so I'm thankful for that. I have 3 degrees. I have a bachelor's degree in early childhood. I have a master's degree in early childhood, and I have my specialist degree in teaching and learning and curriculum. So, and then a reading endorsement added, and so I've just basically been raised around it. I'm in the classroom every day, and my life is those children. So it's my 3 children and my husband and the children of my classroom. So just to let you know, I'm Tommie Ruth White. I'll add that I think being in the classroom every day adds a benefit to being on the school board. When decisions are made, I can speak up and say, hey, sometimes that won't work in the classroom. So to say all that, I feel like, my life has been around education, and I would still like to continue, for this board seat and just be there to support our children and our teachers. Because I tell you, I know a lot of you realize it, but those teachers do a lot of work every day in that classroom. And they put up with a lot of heartache, their mother, counselor, teacher, father, it's a lot. And it's a lot to be out there and put yourself out there every day and have to be the disciplinarian as well as the teacher, so. But my 3 children, they all said they'd never do education, and then it's funny now they look back at that, they're older and they're like, that was a good degree, that you received. And, Daddy was always home with me, Mama was always home with me, we always had family vacations together. So it's the perfect occupation for a father and a mother, and, it's good. I remember my daddy was a farmer. He worked all the time, bless his heart, and we never got to go on school vacations, and you remember thinking as a child, I just really want to be able to be with my children and their daddy be able to be with them, as well. So with marrying a teacher and a coach and being the mother of 3 children, it's just been the greatest blessing and the best career that you can have. So by saying all of that, I'm Tommie Ruth White, and I'm from Lanier County.
If you'll remain standing, please. school system?
Oh, wow, that's easy. First of all, let me say our greatest asset are those teachers in the classroom. They're up there now, they're in and out every day, they're working, getting curriculum ready. We have new curriculum standards coming out this year. They've met behind the scenes, getting new units prepared for the kids. They do a lot of hard work, as I said, just a while ago. They do a lot. They're constantly in training for the new content, as I mentioned, and they're not just school teachers in the classroom. Again, they're mothers, fathers, counselors, nurses, they're everything. But at the same time, they're on that floor, picking up trash and keeping their rooms clean. There's just so many different jobs that I think that's really good here. All of our teachers right now are what we are considered or are highly qualified, which means that every teacher is highly qualified in the area that they are teaching. So if you're a history teacher, then your degree and everything is in that particular area. 3 of our 4 schools were back last year and the years previous were on what was called then the needs improvement list. As of this year, we have 0 of our schools on the needs improvement list. There's a new name for it now, but we all know it as needs improvement. So to have the best teachers that we have with the curriculum, being highly qualified, I think we've hired a great staff of people, and they're wonderful. They're out there every day, beating the bushes and just working very hard for the children. So with all the teachers being highly qualified that we have now, and I just think that's a great asset.
Mr. Zirkle, I'll ask you the same question. What is the greatest asset of the Lanier County school system? You have 2 minutes.
Thank you. I have to agree with the incumbent. She's absolutely right. It's the teachers, the professionals who educate our kids, who teach our children, discipline our children. Basically, while we're working there at school, they're raising our children. But I got to say this. We got to take politics out of it. We got to remove impediments in the classroom. I can't tell you how many teachers who come to me and say, well, I've got an issue with so-and-so, but I can't go to them because they've got a family member on the board. I've got an issue with such and such, but I'm afraid to say anything because I worry about my job. I care about educators. I care about our kids. Our educators are the greatest asset. We shouldn't have people moving on, choosing to leave voluntarily because they feel like they just can't deal with it anymore. And I guess I'm the challenger, and that's the reason some people run to me and chew my ear with some of the issues that we have in our school system in Lanier County. But I just got to tell you, I'm passionately against nepotism. Nepotism, is when we have family members who hire and promote, or possibly could, just by appearance, be hiring and promote other family members. It's not, this family member's this brother's in the classroom teaching, this sister's in the classroom teaching. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about people rising to positions of power. The appearance, the inappropriate appearance. Not saying they're doing anything wrong, but those teachers still have that fear that I can't really be me. I can't really teach how I want to teach. I can't contribute fully because I'm afraid of the circumstances. I'm afraid of repercussions. And that's why I'm asking for your vote.
If you'll remain standing, sir, I'll ask you the second question. What is one issue facing the Lanier County school system, and what is your solution to solve this issue?
How many minutes?
2.
2 minutes, quickly. It's the same issue that's facing everybody else out there. It's money. It's money. Listen, when Moody Air Force Base expanded and brought the 23rd Fighter Group here, I think it was about 2005, 2007, they brought hundreds of jobs, millions of dollars. Lanier County is growing at twice the rate of any county in the area. Did you realize that from 2000 to 2010? Big money coming in. Big money coming in. And yet we still have the highest tax millage rate of any county around. Atkinson, Berrien, Clinch, Cook, Eccles, Lowndes. Little Lanier County has the highest tax rate. Listen, I'm a conservative, I'm a fiscal conservative, I'm a social conservative. And I've got to tell you, our biggest issue is money. I say remove those impediments to growth, impediments to growth. Nepotism. If you keep people from Moody Air Force Base, if they come over here and they see, well, it's kind of all in the family over there and being military, having moved all around this country, I'm not used to that. I really can't deal with that. I'm going to put my kids in Valwood, or I'm going to put my kids in Lowndes County School System, and I'm going to settle over there. If they decide, I won't settle in Lanier County because the taxes are too high. That increases the tax burden on the rest of you. I say broaden the tax base. Get rid of nepotism slowly. You can't just run people out of their jobs. We got some good people working here, and this didn't happen overnight, and it won't change overnight. But we got to begin the process of change in the spirit of doing what's right. Get rid of the nepotism so that we get those assets moving into Lanier County. Decrease the taxes so we get those assets moving into Lanier County. Broaden the tax base. Increase tax revenues with a lower millage rate. They're doing it all over the country. Let's try it too. Thank you.
Mr. White, I'll ask you the same question. What is one issue facing the Lanier County school system, and what is your solution to solve this issue?
Well, first of all, money is the issue. Money's always going to be the issue with the economy the way it is right now. Money is going to be the issue. I feel like that what we have done, we've tried to be very, very conservative already with the budget. We made a tremendous cut back 2 years ago, which is that is the hardest decision I've ever made, is being on the school board, because we had to let so many people go, released from their jobs. By making that very hard decision due to the economy and due to the money, we had to make that tough decision, but it has also made it to where we have not had to furlough any days. Every county around us, I teach at Cook, we have 5 days this year. Every surrounding county has at least 5+ days. So I see to where money is the problem, but at the same time, like I say, we've not had to furlough. We've not had to do that because we've been so careful. Speaking of the board office, we have less people right now working in our board office than we've had in several years. We have many, many people that are wearing many, many hats right now. We're not having extra people that we've had in the board office because of all the people in the board office taking on all of these extra jobs, not for any more money. They're taking on all these jobs, helping out so that we don't have to have any more money. The way to fix it right now, I believe, is to stay the way we are moving with the budget. We've tried to be very conservative. The millage rate, I've been on board, this is my 4th year in it now. We've not went up on the millage rate since I've been there, but it's very hard to compare us with all these surrounding counties that are on the interstate, Valdosta, everybody. Yes, we've got a tremendous growth of students, but at the same time, we do not have a lot of these families that are moving in that are actually buying property. So the people that are in Lanier County, we've got a lot of property owners, but at the same time, we have a lot of people that are here but do not own property. So therefore, we're not getting their tax money off of it. So I'm not done.
If you'll remain standing, please, I'll ask you the last question, and you have 2 minutes to answer it. What is your opinion on random drug testing for all employees of Lanier County school system?
My opinion is that we do a random drug testing right now. I think it's very important. I think it's very necessary. I totally agree with doing it. I know just out of the blue, here back this past year, they would just call them up and do a random drug test. My husband also drives a school bus, and he came home, we're having a random drug test today. I think it's very good. These are the people that are educating our children, they're driving our school buses. That is very, very important to me. My son flies an airplane, so therefore I want him to go through a drug testing all the time, if these are the children, the people that are working and educating our kids, then, I don't have a problem with it. So I do think that it's fine to do. A lot of people out there are on medication for whatever reason, and I know other people may be on other medication for other reasons, but as far as my opinion, if it's fine and okay to do, then yes. If you're driving my child on that school bus every day, you come in whenever you want to and ask for a drug test. It wouldn't hurt my feelings. I teach every day in the classroom. If my parents want me to go right now and take a drug test this afternoon, then I'll follow them right out the door and we'll go do it. Because these are the people in our kids' lives that they're in contact with every single day. And it's up to us as teachers and educators. We are still their parents. We're with them every day. So, in my opinion, with that being the question, I think the random drug test is fine, and I'm glad that we do it here in Lanier County. Thank you.
Mr. Zirkle, I'll ask you the same question. What is your opinion on the random drug testing, pardon me, for all employees of the Lanier County school system? And you have 2 minutes to answer
Okay,
the question.
just quickly, I could have heard wrong, but first of all, if somebody comes and says we're having a random drug test today, it's not random. I've conducted drug tests for Georgia Department of Corrections, for United States Army, tested thousands of people going to war, thousands. Okay, it's absolutely necessary. In case law has shown that public employees are obligated to submit to random drug tests. But here we go, we got to go to the nepotism thing again. If everybody is in with everybody and owes everybody, if my wife is my boss and she's responsible for giving me my drug test, calling me up and telling me, is it possible that she might feel, well, I know you were on that medication, but you got a drug test tomorrow. Listen, it all comes down to the appearance. The appearance. Not saying anybody's doing anything wrong, but it comes down to appearance. Random drug test, absolutely. That's a no-brainer. Everybody knows, particularly you're dealing with kids, random drug tests, background checks, the whole 9 yards. We should also be checking credentials. Okay? Absolutely. But we got to take it a step further. We got to ensure the veracity of the test. Ensure it's real, it's honest. It matters. Nobody called you the night before. And for those of you who didn't know, you can beat a THC test by gulping down a lot of water. THC is fat soluble. THC is the active component of marijuana, just so you know. Gulp down a lot of water and beat the test because somebody told you last night before you go to work this morning. So I'm just driving home a point and asking for your vote and an opportunity. Thank you.
If you'll remain standing, sir, you have 3 minutes for a closing statement.
Okay, 3 minutes. I'd just like to say, listen, I'm humbly asking for your vote. If I come across as being a little too passionate, listen, I believe in what I'm saying. That's why I'm not reading from a card. I wholeheartedly believe what I'm saying. Listen, I've done the homework. Did you know Lanier County has higher median home values than Marion, than Adel, Cook, than Eccles, than Atkinson, than Clinch? Our homes are worth more in Lanier County. You know what? Our population is higher than most of the rest of those. All except for one. Berrien County is the only one with a higher population. And I'll tell you something else. Our median income in Lanier County, you want to guess? It's higher than every one of those counties I just stated. Berrien, Atkinson, Clinch, Cook. So why the high tax millage rate? There's all that money in Lanier County. Why the high tax millage rate? And I'll let you decide why for yourself. Okay, I don't want to tell you why I think. I'll let you decide for yourself. All I'm asking for is an opportunity to serve. Listen, my wife Cindy was just hired by the Berrien County school system to teach middle school. She did interview in Lanier County, and had she been hired, I would have had to withdraw from this race. That's how passionately I feel about what I'm telling you. We need to do things a little different. We're good, but we really do need to go to great. We need to go to great. We need to clean up things just a little bit. There's too much at stake. The globalization. We're competing with the world now. We're not competing with Valdosta. We're not competing with Atlanta. We're competing with the world. I know I can compete. I know the education I got at the hands of some good educators, good principals. I've been valedictorian of active duty cargo traffic management coordinator course in Fort Eustis, Virginia, the basic non-commissioned officers course in Asheville, Nebraska, and half a dozen other courses. I'm I'm certified in a little bit of everything. But that's not me bragging. That's me telling you, my education has served me well. I see things a little bit differently than the incumbent because obviously I'm the child. She's a great person, a quality educator. Nobody else, if I had a second grader, that I won't teach her. If you vote for the incumbent, I'm going to support the incumbent if she's elected. And I'm going to stay here and serve this county and speak up for what I believe is right. And if at times, if I'm coming on a little too strong, guess what? I accept constructive criticism. I'm not asking for money. I won't accept pay for serving this county. I'm asking you to give me an opportunity to change. Listen, I'm not the type of guy that people are going to be calling for favors because, first of all, that's not what board members are supposed to be doing if you read what the state says our job is. Thank you.
Ms. White, you have 3 minutes for your closing statement.
As an educator, again, I'm about to begin my 20th year. Education is my passion, it's my life, it's my family's life. I believe that the 3 years and now starting my 4th year, I believe we've had a great 4 years at our school system. We've made a lot of changes. We've made a lot of progress changes. We've got, like I told you before, we've got our highly qualified teachers. Our graduation rate this year, we're not where we want to be yet, but from last year to this year, we went up 13%. So our student achievement is each year growing higher and higher. As a board member, you do make tough decisions. You make tough decisions every day about those teachers, classrooms, the budget being planned. You do. You just make tough decisions, but it's decisions that you have to make. It's like being a parent. You have to make those tough decisions and to tell your children no. So a lot of times, you know, we make tough decisions and you have to say no on things. But overall, I believe we've got a great central office up there. We've got great teachers in our classroom. We have great, from paraprofessionals to bus drivers to the lunchroom ladies who cook for us every day. We just have a great overall system. And everybody's very supportive. You know, we went in there and we have a meeting, and we may have quick meetings along. But we get our board packets, you know, several days before the board meeting, and we all talk and discuss things on the phone and together and separately so that we don't have to have a work session to be able to save taxpayers' money, because if you have that work session, you're going to have to pay for us being there to have that work session. And yes, you know, it is a $50 paycheck, you know, less your taxes, but at the same time, when you spend those 2 and 3 hours at night on the phone and you can't help your child with your homework because you're on the phone dealing with a problem that somebody's having or a question, then, you know, it takes a lot of time away from your family as well. So you have to look at the whole picture, and I just hope everybody will do that and do realize that we've got a great system, we're headed in the right direction, and no matter what you do, you're going to have to make good decisions. My opponent, as he said about me, I'll say about him, I've been friends with their family for years. Our kids are friends. He's a good man. If he wins and beats me, I'll shake his hand and I'll be right there to support him as well. I'm not going anywhere. I'm going to live here. I'm going to be right there at all the ball games and all the other events, just like he's going to be. So, but I would, you know, like to have your vote as well. I'd like to stay in there because as a teacher in the classroom, I really do feel like that I can make, you know, even more of a difference. Thanks.
Ladies and gentlemen, these are your candidates for the Lanier County Board of Education District 2.